Hi everyone, Haley here from The Foiled Plan. It has been a long time since I've posted a video. One of my last videos was an unboxing and review of the Htvront auto heat press. I will be sure to put a link somewhere here as well as down in the description box. If you've watched that video, this one is going to be very similar in style. These videos are here to share information, and then you can take that information and decide whether or not you want to purchase it. Now, as a disclaimer, I do want to mention that Htvront did send me this heat press, which I very much appreciate. Any of the things that I review, I do leave affiliate links in the description box. If you do want to use that affiliate link to purchase this product, I do receive a small commission from that sale. It's no extra charge to you, but I just like to be transparent about that. So let's get right into unboxing the Htvront Auto Tumbler Press. So the Auto Tumbler heat press does come in two colors, just like the Auto heat press for t-shirts. So right on top, you do receive the product manual, and they also include a roll of heat tape. And they also give you a pair of heat pressing gloves. So right away, I notice it's very similar to the Auto heat press in that it's just a clean look. Htvront does a really good job of making things aesthetically pleasing. So it is a pretty looking machine. I keep looking this way because I'm looking right at my heat press just to compare. The buttons do look pretty much the same. One thing I do notice though is that the color of the actual unit is a different shade of white than my Auto heat press is. This is a much more cooler tone than that white. So if you were expecting them to be exactly the same color, it'll be a little bit different. Also, this is really silly for me to do this on this side because my outlet is over here. So we'll see if the cord is long enough. The cord was not long enough, so I had to switch everything sitting here on my workstations. I have the heat press over here. I'm gonna plug it in now. I hear a beep and the power button starts to flash. It is not on, the screen is not lit up, it's just that power button flashes. That light does flash all the time, so if you can't stand having any sort of light flashing while you are trying to sleep, don't put it in your room. I am going to turn this on, we'll get it heated up, and I do have 5 different substrates. They are ready to go. If you do have questions about that though, feel free to let me know. Anyways, I'm going to press the power button. It'll flash a couple times and then show you what the default startup temperature and time is. Everything will stop flashing and temperature will start to rise. Now, with different substrates, you'll need to press at different temperatures and for a different amount of time depending on whatever the manufacturer states. So there are instructions on HtVront's website. I still believe that you're going to have to test out the items that you're using because there is so many different variables that come into play when it comes to sublimation. You just gotta test things out. So it just beeped and the logo button has turned green, which means it's up to that initial temperature. So there are 2 buttons on the top here. They have a plus and minus symbol on them. That is going to be to adjust the time and temperature settings. And then on the left-hand side over near the power button, you'll see a button that has a little clock on it and then one that has a thermometer. One is to adjust the time and one is to adjust the temperature. When you want to adjust the temperature, you're going to hit the temperature button. You press it 1 time and then the temperature starts to flash, and then you can use those plus and minus buttons to set that temperature. I have never done a tumbler in a tumbler press before, so I'm very excited about these. I've only ever heat pressed mugs. So this brand of tumbler is PYD Life. They have a lot of sublimation blanks. There was a really good deal on Amazon. I can't remember exactly what I paid, but I'll be sure to link those as well. There is also a little instruction manual that comes with those. So with this specific tumbler, they recommend pressing at 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 seconds. And then if it's a full wrap, which all 3 of these are, they suggest rotating it and then pressing it again. So that's what we're going to do. Actually, I'm gonna look really quick on Htvront website and see what they, oh no, they have a little quick reference guide here in their book. So a stainless steel tumbler, they recommend a longer press time at a higher temperature. So it's always tough to know which one to go with. There's also press times that they recommend with sublimation paper. So many variables, like I said, need to find like a happy medium. I am going to go with what the machine says, and I'm gonna turn it up to 370 degrees. So with that plus or minus button, when you are adjusting the temperature, if you press and hold the button, it will increase or decrease the temperature by 10 degrees. If you just simply press it quickly, it will increase or decrease by 5 degrees. So if you've got like a long way to go before you reach your desired temperature, then you're probably gonna wanna just hold that button down and it'll jump to that temperature much quicker. And then I think I'm gonna keep it at 60 seconds because it recommends doing one press and then turning it and then pressing it again, just because where the heating elements line up, there's still going to be a little tiny area where they don't completely touch. This is up to temperature. I'm gonna put on my trusty, dusty new heat pressing gloves. I will tell you, they have long fingers on these gloves. Oh my gosh, the pinky. These are a little bit snug. If you have dainty little hands, these might be a bit big on you. You can see my heat pressing tape on the inside of the seam. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna make sure that it is in an area of the heat press. It's gonna be fully covered. I thought the opening was gonna be bigger in here. Okay, I kind of have it in the middle. This is why we're wearing the gloves, for safety. And I'm going to press the auto button, which is the button that has the logo on it, the R that's lit up green. I don't know if you can hear that, but it was like a that was probably really bad on my microphone, but okay, what was I saying? There is about a 1/4 inch gap where the plates, the heating element comes like around and it doesn't quite touch, so that's why we have to rotate it. If at any time you have to open this back up, it's like an emergency stop feature they have where you can press any button and it'll just open right back up. I am going to twist it, slide it back in, and I'm gonna press it one more time. That sort of off-gassing smell is the same as really any heat press when you're doing sublimation. Some people don't even notice it. If you're really sensitive to smells, you might notice it. Whew. Okay, hang on one second. Okay, definitely very hot. So I always like having these silicone mats. This is from Dollarama. They're like pot holders for the kitchen. Yeah, that's the thing. These gloves are heat resistant, but just like with most oven mitts, if you hold onto something for a very long time, you're 100% gonna feel that heat through it. I hope that I put the design on the right way. Around the top is good. I didn't have to like do the edge and then flip. We'll see what the bottom looks like because the bottom has a bit of a taper. I can see the faintest seam line, but I honestly believe that it is to do with me applying the design to the cup. I also didn't mention, I purchased these designs on Etsy. The bottom and the top turned out perfectly. Sometimes people have it where it's like faded along the top or faded along the bottom, and you get a bit of ghosting. It did not do that at all. The only thing, and again, I think this is me, you can see a very faint little seam line, kind of lines up with the books. It kind of bled a little bit there. I must not have had the paper perfect. And then right here. For my first one, I am very impressed. Just one more chapter. Cute. I'm happy with that temperature and pressing time though, so I feel like I'm gonna keep it at that. If you were wondering, I am using the 125 Hippo brand sublimation paper. Comes in a pack of 110 sheets. This one is for spooky season. Sliding it in, and we're gonna press. So So this one I was also worried about the bottom because I feel like I didn't really do a great job of getting it crisp and clean around the bottom when I taped it. Okay, so first of all, nice, vibrant, no scorching, but do you see how these are two purples? This bothers me, but that is because of the design. Also, let's see if you can see that faint little line. Again, it's so important to get it perfectly on the cup before you even get to the pressing stage. Otherwise, you have stuff like that. If you're doing a wrap that is not a seamless design, I feel like it would be perfect every time. This is very crisp. Now you can see this is what I was worried about happening on the bottom. And that's just because I didn't get the design. You can see there was some wrinkles in the paper. Oh, here you can really see a couple of those wrinkle spots, which what you could do if you felt like you could get it like perfect. Sorry, I keep doing that and then all you see is my mouth, so it's like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. You could print off just a strip and put it on the bottom and then press it again. I'm not gonna worry about that. I would say for the most part along the top, it's pretty good. You can see a little bit of fading, which I didn't have any of that fading on this one. So that to me tells me that I didn't get it tight enough when I put the design on. That's my logic anyways. If this one was like perfect around the edge, then this one should have been too, unless which variable changed, potentially how I put it on there. Because I use the same heat press, I use the same materials and everything. And that is so strange to me. Why would they make that design like that? I don't know, but I bought it, so that's on me. The nice thing is when I make stuff like this, yeah, I'm not gonna sell it, but I can give them away as gifts to my friends. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'll show you. So this is the design. It's all these little bats. I think this is so cute. If you were just going like this, I feel like you would miss the seam. Like if it's just sitting there, you wouldn't necessarily see it. Like you have to look for it, but there's a little bit of a line and it's really just in that section there. Like it's not bad up here. You can still see it a little bit, but because there's not a lot of like blowout like there is down here, that sort of ghosting, it's not as noticeable. And then let's look at the bottom. So I feel like it's maybe a little bit light there, but for the most part, like we've got that crisp, clean edge. And then same thing on the top. It's a little bit light in this section right here. Not bad at all. Looking at the sublimation paper too, you can see this is the bottom. So you can see how all of the ink up here has transferred, and then down here, there still is a little bit more. Now we're gonna move on and do our mugs. So I am gonna get some parchment paper, and then I'm gonna create like a little taco and then put these in. For ceramic, it requires a higher temperature and a longer pressing time. It says 380 to 390 degrees. So I'm gonna go in between that. I'm gonna go 385. This says anywhere from 360 to 480 seconds. So I think I'm gonna go 400 seconds and we'll see what happens. And I'm gonna hold down the button so that it goes up by tens. It gets up to temperature so quickly. I'm trying to get it as close to the center as possible. So you can see how like all along in there, but yeah, might have to twist it a little bit. Oh my gosh, dog hair is free when you come to my house. I feel like once this is done, I'm gonna pop it open and then just like adjust the handle back slightly and then press it again for a few more seconds, because I know for a fact that it didn't get the whole design. I had pressed the handle as far up touching this as it could go. Lesson learned. Try it again. It's definitely like a snug fit. I can see some scorching on the parchment. So this is supposed to be one of those like 3D looks. So this happened, and that's what the other side looks like. It is very dark in here, and we do have a pretty harsh line all the way around the top. I think it was burnt. That's what it is, exactly that. It got burnt. So this area here, because that 100% was not part of the design. So this one got burnt. we had a scorcher. So I'm thinking we need to, for sure, go less time. I'm gonna drop the temperature down to 380. And for time, I'm gonna go down to 380. So 380 and 380, and we'll see what happens. For this last mug, I think what we're gonna do is, instead of me having the handle so close to the edge of here, I'm gonna try and keep it as like centered as possible. And I'm just gonna press it the one time, and then that will be it. Okay, I stopped it like 90 seconds short because everything that I was reading online was saying that we don't need to press for this long. Oh no, this one's burnt too. So that was definitely way too long. Basically, if you're gonna get into sublimation, you need to be prepared to waste. I don't like saying waste because you're learning in the process. You're gonna go through supplies until you figure out what combination of time, temperature, substrate, all of the above works for you. We're a little bit faded here. There's some burning that has occurred, and then a little bit faded over here. Mugs are so tricky because of that handle. With the skinny tumblers, you can rotate it and then get that nice clean edge. I feel like it did a great job with the skinny tumblers. I think as a first-time user, it was very easy to use. I look forward to really finding the sweet spot for what is gonna work best for all of my different variables. I do need to figure out what settings are gonna work first before I can really give you an accurate impression on how I like it for mugs. I hope this has helped you kind of see what this machine does. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I hope you have a super awesome day, and that's all I'm gonna say. Bye.